Welcome back to Double Nickel. In the last episode, I shared with you my reasons for starting this channel at age 55. And one of those reasons was just how precious time is. And so today I want to reflect on a series of events that culminated in a really clear understanding for me and a lesson that I learned, which I'll share with you a little bit later on. So a few weeks back, after my latest back surgery, I slipped on some ice. Couldn't see it. I did the slip and slide. And nothing dramatic happened. I didn't fall, didn't break anything. But almost immediately, I knew I had re-injured myself. And strangely, when that happened, something occurred to me. The something was that for most of my life, whenever I had a health event, whether it was an injury or surgery, whatever it was, recovery always moved in one direction for me. It was always forward. It was never a setback. It was never a regression. But when I slipped that day, it hit me pretty hard that my body is not the same anymore. I'm very capable now of having setbacks and regressing, not as young as I used to be. And right behind that was another one that's obvious to everyone. It was another thought that really I'm not different than anyone else. You see, for most of our lives, mortality is this academic idea. We know that life is finite. We know people age. We know that bodies and our bodies, they wear down. But knowing something intellectually and actually realizing it, those are two very different things. So looking back to that moment on the ice, it wasn't really the beginning of this lesson for me that I've learned. It was just the crescendo. It was the moment when the lesson finally came home. Some of those things that happened along the way in my life that were leading me up to this go back to a long ways. My father-in-law, when I first met him, was told that he was dealing with heart disease, and he did the whole time I knew him, obviously, and we lost him in his late 60s, far too early. I watched my mom in the early 2000s go from what was supposed to be just a standard basic minor procedure to some complications that really deteriorated her quality of life. And then later in life, she lost her mobility the last couple of years, was confined to a wheelchair. She loved to travel, very, very outgoing type, but that was all taken away from her. And then we lost her in her early 70s. Later on, my wife went through a battle with breast cancer. Now, she's fully recovered and she's doing great. We're fortunate in that respect and very thankful. I also lost my sister in her mid-60s. So all of those things were views into the other people's lives that connected with mine, that were signposts. They were moments that were teaching moments about mortality. I've also had my own series of health events, mostly to do with surgeries. First one was in 2017. I had to have a fusion in my neck. Later on in 2020, a fusion in my lower back, and that is when I was told you have degenerative disc disease. And it became more real then. That is also one of the problems my mom had. So there was some similarities there and some connectivity to what I watched happen to her and what I was experiencing. And then this last December, I went through another back surgery, and that's when I had the slip on the ice. All these things were signals along the way, but the moment on the ice is when the lesson became real. Mortality had moved from something academic to something personal. And that seems strange because it was just a slip on the ice, and there are all these other big events in life. But none of us are wired the same, and you never really know when something's going to happen that's going to turn the light bulb on for you. And for me, that's when the light bulb had reached its full brightness in this one regard. Now, I want to be clear about something. My experiences haven't been worse than anyone else's. Everyone experiences loss. Everyone faces health challenges eventually. That's just part of life. But I'm not sure that we always stop long enough to learn the lesson these moments are trying to teach of us. They're trying to show us something. They're not fun. They're not pleasant. We don't enjoy those hard moments. But there are nuggets of truth. There are opportunities for awareness when we go through these things. And so the way I've come to think about it is something I'm calling grateful urgency. Urgency because time is not unlimited. Curiously, we don't know how much time we have, so that adds a wrinkle to it. And then gratitude because if we're here today, we've been given time. We've been given opportunity. And as I relate this to retirement, I used to think of retirement mostly as just an escape. Work hard, save money, and then someday, escape the system. But along the way, that's changed for me, and especially recently. Now I see it very differently. If I'm fortunate enough to be granted time to retire, the question isn't how to escape. It's not even about that. The question is how to steward that time that I'm given well. That realization, that understanding, it's got this strange combinations of feelings that I'm talking to you about, that urgency component because that unknown about time, but yet gratitude because we know that every day we're given, that's another gift and another opportunity. So if there's anything I'd like to offer you as encouragement from my own experience, it's simply this. A few points. First of all, pay close attention to the lessons that life gives you along the way. It may be a difficult circumstance. It usually is those difficult and hard things that we go through that offer us the greatest opportunity to really learn and grow as a person. Second, I ask you to value your time. Don't just give your time away to anything. Try to be intentional about what you do with your time. And as you do that, use it well. Use your time for things that matter, that mean something to you, that mean something to others. I would also encourage you to live life to the fullest. Man, embrace life, embrace your weekends, embrace your commute to work, and embrace your vacations, family reunions, visits with friends, out to dinner, quiet time on the couch, moments on the back deck like I'm having right now. Live life to the fullest. And lastly, I would say when you're around those that you love and care about and they care about you, be present. Be intentional about that. Focus on those you're with. Make sure they know that you're there, that you care, that you're engaged. You're interested in who they are and what they're about. So really nothing dramatic happened that day on the ice when I slipped, but for me, for whatever reason, the lesson finally landed. So until next time, when we'll reflect on travel, let's see where Double Nickel takes us.